Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome to this devlog. Let's talk about some recent updates and my thoughts on the game I am working on. This started as an endless runner that I wanted to get out in a couple of months last year to get started on my game dev journey, but it took a turn since then because I decided to try out some art and pair that with my laziness. Months later, we are sitting on a game that still looks empty gameplay wise. But ever since the art style of the game is set, I've been able to make some progress in the right direction. Let's talk about some of those updates in this devlog. Let's start with this basic swim mechanic that I added, which, if you look at the implementation, is just walking in ground but with different animations. There is just a ground collider underneath the water sprite. As for the effect, where the player is half inside this see-through surface, I'm using a transparent sprite with the sorting layer which is above the player, and this matches with the movement of the original water sprite. There are also some splash particles that are spawned when the player enters or leaves the water. I also tried to add particles for the player movement, but that was not looking good at all. Maybe I will try to fix it later. Another thing that I started working on are the enemy characters. These are the first two that I added. It is also my first time trying out frame animation, and believe me, it takes me an eternity. But using references and some sneaky tricks helps a lot. Take this fine movement for example on this enemy. To animate this in Photoshop, first I recorded myself swinging this rope in this website, then extracted the video frames, imported them into Photoshop and used them as a reference to draw the vine's wavy movement. Speaking of Photoshop, it has been doing a lot of heavy lifting for my art. I'm making heavy use of these layer styles on every asset I make, but the real game changer is of course the brush smoothing option. This is my goat for sure. Anyway, coming back to the enemies, now that we have something to take damage from, we will need some damage feedback. So I added this knockback and flash to the player for now. This still needs some camera shake and maybe a subtle pause on impact, but I will add that later. For now, I worked on the damage system. Here, I'm keeping track of the player's current health and there are some methods to update it. I also created this UI component, which might need some rework I guess, but it works at least as a placeholder for now. Then I cut out this heart sprite into tiny pieces and used the sprite sheet to create this effect. Yeah, it's a literal heartbreak. Anyway, now we have a damage system and we can lose lives. We can also die, which just instantly reloads the scene for now. Moving on, I also added this acid drop that can prove deadly to the player. And then thought, why stop there and added this flying enemy who will consume the acid that's been dripping and spit it out towards the player. Cool, right? Wait, it is giving me some flashbacks. I also encountered this bug where the spit animation was playing twice that should be playing only once, but then looking at the size of the spit in relation to the acid drop, it kind of worked out. So the bug actually helped me. Not this bug though. That's deadly. So, what's next? I'm planning to work on adding some more enemies and obstacles to the game before moving on to work on the main game loop. I'm also planning to add a couple of movement mechanics as well, since we only have a dash for now. Check out this ledge grab mechanic that I started working on. Right now, it looks like a double jump, or more like I have turned on the ghost mode, but I plan to add some kind of grapple that the player will throw towards the ledge to reach it, but that will need some work. Yeah, that's all for this devlog. Let's meet some other day with some more updates. That is, if you decide to follow the page. Subscribe!